Hello and seize the spark. Welcome to the Flutter Flame Emperor Potato Sodcast. You've stumbled upon a spark, a diamond in the sod. Today, we're lighting the way into Flutter Flame, game development, tiled, and visual studio code. For any passion fool, this will be hot. Be your host, the Flutter Flame Potato Emperor. Today, we're embarking on an exciting adventure as we introduce the tools and frameworks that will ignite our game about a potato caught on the borders of space and time. Let's get started. First up, let's talk about Flutter. Flutter is an open source user interface software development kit created by Google. It's used to develop applications for Android, iOS, Linux, Mac, Windows, Google Fuchsia, and the web from a single codebase. This is particularly powerful because it allows us to write our code once and deploy it across multiple platforms. So, why did I choose Flutter for the game? Well, Flutter offers a fire set of pre-designed widgets for building user interfaces. And it's lit because Flutter uses the Dart programming language, which compiles to native code. This means our game will run smoothly on any device. Flutter's hot reload feature is what it is. Hot. It allows us to see changes in real time without restarting the app. This speeds up the development process significantly and helps in quickly iterating over design and functionality. Hot reload is an understatement. You just hit a button and your widgets reinitialize. And in Visual Studio Code, there's a Flutter widget in the activity bar. Click that. Find the hammer and screwdriver crossed icon, open DevTools in browser. It's lit. For our game, let's tell a story about a potato navigating the realms of Diva, Ashura, human, animal, Preda, and Naraka, and the paths between and beyond them. Flutter gives us the flexibility and power we need to create an engaging and visually appealing experience. In this story, the 6 realms, or paths of samsara, represent states of consciousness, Diva aligning with heavenly attributes, down to Naraka, which falls more on the eternal damnation side of things. For grid sheets to represent these different maps, I am using Tiled, another free tool that allows me to add an overworld sprite sheet by adding a .tmx file into my asset styles folder, importing Flame tiled in my pub spec YAMLs dependencies list, and calling tiled component load. So convenient. From down below the megacities of Preda, just above the abysmal Naraka, apathetic abominations and hungry ghosts can be found prowling the path between them, known as Akhamar. Above Preda and below the wild world of animals, a story begins, off the beaten path of Edetrium. Let's turn things up a bit and jump into Flame. Flutter Flame is a game engine built on top of Flutter. It provides essential tools and functionalities specifically designed for game development. With Flutter Flame, we can handle animations, physics, input, and much more. If you have Flutter experience, I recommend trying Flame. Where in Flutter, everything is a widget, in Flame, everything is a component. Our game features a top-down 2D overworld style and distinct 2D grid-based combat system, similar to the Mega Man Battle Network series and Duelists of Eden. Mega Man Battle Network 1-6 are canon events for me, and Duelists of Eden looks lit. Flutter Flame makes it easy to manage the complex interactions that these grid commanders have. When coding Flutter, I tend to use block, hydrated block ideally, and in particular a global game block that has references to other blocks throughout the app. We can create tile maps, handle player input, manage game states, and implement animations with relative ease. Now, let's talk about Visual Studio Code, often abbreviated as VS Code. It is a free, open source code editor developed by Microsoft. I'd go as far to say it's Microsoft's best product. It's known for its speed, simplicity, and rich feature set, which makes it a popular choice among developers. One of the standout features of Visual Studio Code is its extensive ecosystem of extensions. For Flutter and Dart development, there are specific extensions that provide support for debugging, syntax highlighting, code completion, and more. Visual Studio Code also offers a built-in terminal. I like having AI generate shell scripts for me. I have this one where if I type bara, it will create and store in a logical location a block file, block state file, block event file, block barrel file, repository interface, mock repository prepared for fake data, data class, and dashboard based on the arguments you pass the shell script. So you would type bar a character, and all of those files would be generated for character properly, the classes and the files, snake case classes Pascal. Character would have an auto-incrementing ID, a description, create date, and update date. Anyways, if you're interested in that script, let me know in the comment sections. I'll make it a GitHub gist or something. If you're not a regular in the terminal already, it is incredibly useful for tasks like running the app, managing version control with Git, and installing dependencies. Another great feature is the integrated debugging support. We can set breakpoints, inspect variables, and step through our code to identify and fix issues. So, how do we harness our own personal sparks of creative genius and feed the human spirit with Flutter Flame? First, we should download Visual Studio Code if we haven't. Then, download Flutter from the official website, FlutterDev. Then, add Flame to our dependencies in our pubspec YAML. We leverage Flutter Flame to handle the game's specific aspects. For example, we can use Flame's component system to create and manage our game characters, enemies, and interactive objects. The engine also provides tools for managing animations, handling user input, and implementing grid tile effects. By combining these tools, we can create a cohesive and efficient development workflow. Visual Studio Code provides a robust environment for coding and debugging. Flutter offers powerful user interfaces capabilities, and Flutter Flame adds the necessary game development functionalities. In the next episode, we'll dive deeper into the initial setup and configuration of our development environment. We'll walk through installing Flutter and Flutter Flame, setting up Visual Studio Code, and creating our first project, or not. There's tons of existing free quality resources available for that. I'd be happy to direct you to them. And if I'm not, maybe someone in the comments will. This is the Flutter Flame Emperor Potato signing off. Seize the spark.